Hi.
Hey, Zibby.
How are
Can I
you?
tell you, I'm excited because this is my chance to share with you an amazing story that I think all moms should know. And if you can hear me okay, is it all right if I go forward?
Go.
What can Mario Puzo do in 2020 to help moms most of all? He can be celebrated for using his own mother as the model for what we usually call the Brando character. Don Vito Corleone was not based on Sam Giancana or Frank Costello or Bugsy Siegel. In the course of writing The Godfather, Puzo realized he was modeling the speech patterns, the style of rhetoric, the exercise of power, the compassion, but also the ruthlessness of Don Vito Corleone on his own mother, who was, in fact, as you kindly indicated, his mother had been the main protagonist of his second novel, The Fortunate Pilgrim, which was given amazing reviews in 1965. The New York Times called it a small classic, and yet it did not sell, did not catch on. It suffered the same fate as Mario's first novel 10 years earlier, when The Dark Arena was celebrated by literary critics, and it flopped in the marketplace. That's when he decided he had to go into more of a storytelling, commercially driven initiative. And The Godfather was novel number 3, which was amazingly popular right from the get-go. There's a tendency to think that Francis Coppola's first Godfather movie is what's really important, and that Mario's novel is sort of commercial hack work. Not the case at all. Puzo simply wrote with a more commercial energy and a more edgy tone as opposed to his earlier literary novels. But what I really wanted to share with you, if it's okay, could I just read a few sentences that Mario wrote in honor of his own mother regarding how she influenced the writing of The Godfather?
Yes, I love that.
Just a few sentences here written by Puzo just a couple years before he died, when Random House in the late 1990s republished his second novel. More than 30 years after it had first appeared, Random House published a beautiful hardcover of The Fortunate Pilgrim, and Mario Puzo wrote a special preface in which he finally admitted, "Whenever The Godfather opened his mouth, in my own mind, I heard the voice of my mother. I heard her wisdom, her ruthlessness, and her unconquerable love for her family and for life itself. The Don's courage and loyalty came from her. The Don's humanity came from her. Through my characters, I heard the voices of my sisters and brothers with their tolerance of human frailty." And I just think that's a great way to remind everybody that Puzo was not just a mob writer or a crime writer. He had an enormously textured and substantial literary integrity, but the popularity of The Godfather, in a way, got him into trouble because, as you know, as we all recall, we grew up knowing always that the first 2 Godfather movies are just the stuff of legend. And when you're that popular, as Irwin Shaw found out with Rich Man, Poor Man, or as Joe Heller found out with Catch-22, sometimes when you have a bestseller that becomes a blockbuster and then becomes part of the national lingo, I mean, the national language has 17 Godfather quotations. And we all know that, you know, from an offer you can't refuse to other great one-liners. Well, the literary critics sometimes tend to put you on a shelf called too commercial. What are you going to do? So thanks for the chance to share all that.
That was my easiest interview ever. Thank you for that. Thanks for being so prepared. Why do you care so much about Mario Puzo? What's your connection to him, and why did you do a biography and all the rest?
I grew up loving the movies. Like many guys, I watched them again and again. And I heard this cliche coming around. The Godfather is a guy thing. It's a guy thing. And yet I was always surrounded by either my sisters or my female friends or some female English professors who were really seriously full of admiration for not only the Godfather movies, but the novel itself. And I looked around and I realized there's no biography of Mario Puzo. Well, Toni Morrison did us all a big favor, not only leaving a whole shelf of great books behind, but Toni left behind around 1,900 great quotations. And my favorite goes like this. Toni Morrison said, if there is a book you want to read and it has not been written yet, then you must write it. So I was lucky enough through a series of serendipitous occurrences to find my way to this amazing independent publisher in New York City. Naomi Rosenblatt at Heliotrope Books was willing, with a target time of 2019, 2020, to take a chance on a biography of Puzo, because in a way, it's a double feature. Double feature meaning 2019 was the 50th anniversary of the publication of The Godfather. And I do want to stress again, Coppola's movies are magnificent, but the book was a blockbuster more than 2 years before the first film came out. And it was not just a blockbuster. Putnam's was able to actually take out ads in 1970, a year after publication, announcing it was the fastest selling novel in the history of publishing. Worldwide readership, worldwide appreciation. It's a writer's dream come true. But still, no biography of Mario. And yet there were biographies galore about Mailer, Capote, other writers of Puzo's generation. And then I really connected the dots, thinking, whoa, you know, we always think of Mailer's generation, the World War II generation, Gore Vidal, James Baldwin, Mailer, James Jones, William Styron. We don't recognize that Puzo is part of that same demographic. And I wanted to place him in the context of what is usually considered Generation Mailer, because all those guys were born within 4 or 5 years of each other. From Salinger to Capote, James Baldwin, Mailer, Puzo, they're all born within 4 to 5 years of each other. And back to this amazing publisher. She was intrigued by the idea of not only catching the anniversary of the 50th year after publishing The Godfather, but 2020, here we are. It's Mario's centenary.
Great.
Later in October, October 15th of this year, will be Mario Puzo's 100th birthday.
Perfect.
And there you go. The subtitle.
Awesome. Well,
the subtitle is, my favorite part is an American Writer's Quest.
Yes.
Mario struggled like so many writers struggle and struggle, and he made it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's an inspiring tale. It's very encouraging for writers who are trying to keep going and all the rest. And thanks for the mother tie-in. So lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Zibby. Bye-bye now.
Take care.